in the lounge.
What up, people? What up? Listen, we have some tea. We're going to talk about the new monetary policy. I was just teasing my wife. She actually climbed the gate, the first time.
Why are you saying that when my mother is in the other? Your mother didn't know that I jumped the gate.
Yeah, she actually jumped the gate into the house. We're making some tea. We're making some tea. We're going to talk about the new monetary policy by John Mangudya. So whilst I'm making my tea, please forgive me. Huh? Are you not going to talk to us?
No.
Why?
I have to go.
I'm making my tea, so wait. We're getting for more people to watch. You want to go to 100?
We'll get there now.
Sweetie. Hey guys, okay. So we're talking about the bond notes and the new monetary policy and fiscal policy that was announced yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I thought, I was very depressed yesterday, I think, but we're going to talk it through. Now, so people were asking me questions. What does this mean for our money in the bank? What does it mean for where we're going as a country? Now, I can tell you, let you know that confidence in the economy has gone to an all-time low, and that's because I happen to work for a couple of corporates, and I can tell I do work for a couple of corporates, and I can tell you that today was a very dark day for a lot of the corporate companies I work in. A lot of the messages in the groups and so forth, and you can tell that the bosses are not confident about what's just happened. There's no confidence in what's happened. Sorry, I'm making my tea. There's a washing machine going, so let me finish making my tea, and then I will let you. Then I will go outside and we'll talk properly. I just got home, see, so I always sing that song for my wife. She came voluntarily. So we're gonna talk about the monetary policy later. Okay, cool. Let me get out of here, guys. It's so noisy. There we go. It's so noisy. Right. We can talk here. Okay, cool. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is checking in. We haven't spoken in a long time. As a lot of you guys would know, my wife has been due for the last couple of days. Like she's due. So I've been, just been trying to be looking after the family. My eldest daughter is going through O levels right now, so trying to make sure that she's studied up. She had a statistics exam yesterday. So she's going through O levels. Sadly, my daughter's very intelligent, but she panics. So, we've been trying to make sure, and, luckily my wife is a mathematician, so it always helps to have, when we're studying together. I was brushing up on my O levels. I was brushing up on my O levels. I realized that I learned things a long time ago. And I'd forgotten these things. You see, when I was teaching my daughter statistics, I didn't know. So I'd asked the wifey to step in and help us, study statistics, because I wanted to get back to my, my brain. I got all A's. And I realized that I had forgotten all of the main concepts that were taught in statistics. I'd forgotten all of them. Now, the thing is, this reminded me of something that happened yesterday. The reason why I'm talking to you guys is this. I had forgotten how bad 2008 was. And it's because time is a great healer, and people forget. And people forget because we are hopeful. People in general are hopeful. You see, people have children in refugee camps. Why? Because people are hopeful. People have weddings in concentration camps because people are hopeful. We are a hopeful nation. We're hopeful people, and people in general, the humanities are hopeful. So what I wanted to explain to you guys is that we are now in a situation where we are literally, fundamentally, in exactly the same place we were when Gideon Gono was in charge. I repeat, we are fundamentally in exactly the same position when Gideon Gono was in charge. Now, you have to remember vividly what they did to the foreign currency accounts before. I need you guys to think back. 2008, what did they do to the foreign currency accounts? Okay? Now, the foreign currency accounts were immediately garnished and the money was taken away, right? And they were converted over to junk money and people lost thousands. I mean, I know my parents lost a lot of money. They also woke up and the value of the car of the money of their cards, as far as in the banks, were literally wiped away. And again, in those days, there was two forms of accounts. There was a foreign currency account and there was a local money account. Now, all Mangudya has done is he's changed the language that Gideon Gono used. So instead of calling them bearer checks, like Gono, Mangudya calls them bond notes. Okay? Do you remember the checks of old? Those checks have now changed to, remember, check your bank to bank rate. They've now changed to RTGS. And now there's a foreign currency account. Now what they want you to do, is they want you to put your foreign currency in their accounts because they say, oh, now we've siloed off the toxic Zim dollar with the foreign currency accounts. But Zimbabwe has no property rights. They have no property rights. There is nothing that stops John Iscariot Panonetsa Mangudya from coming in and taking your money again. Nothing stops it. Now, I'll tell you why I say this. And remember, I'm not swearing because my mother-in-law's around, so I don't want to be swearing. The reason why John Mangudya wants to keep us in this weird psychological loop is because they need to mop up the remaining US dollars. Right? They need to mop up now the thing is, I have met John Mangudya. I want you to go on my timeline and go 2 years to the day. 2 years, go back 2 years today and then a couple of videos before, and you will see a conversation I had with Mangudya, with Pastor Ivan, with Fadzai Mahere, with Rasta Marshall and so forth. We went to see him. His actual name is Panonets. We went to see him and he said to us these words. He said, if the bond note is seen by the public, if you could see the bond note in the public, you can come and tell me to resign, because the bond note is going to be 5% of money supply, number one, and it's what you call a import incentive. That's what he said to me. That's John Mangudya. He said that to me. He said that to Pastor Evan. He said that to Fadzai Mahere. He said that to Promise Mukwananzi. He said that to Linda Masarira. He said to everyone who was there at that particular time. He promised that we would not see the bond note. And we said, you are lying. We told him he was lying. Immediately, as the bond notes were released, we started seeing them in the public. So we asked, this is an import incentive. Why am I now having to be dispersed these bond notes? Right? It was a loot. They were looting money. So John Mangudya has lied before. There is no reason for you and I to believe what John Mangudya said yesterday is true. There is no reason. He has not proved to be a man of his word. He hasn't resigned. He has not gone by any of the statements that he personally put out. Without us, we didn't force him to say what he said. He invited us into the RBZ and he said it and we videoed it. And those videos are live right now. You can see. Go on Marshall's page. Go on Fadzai's page. Everyone can see those videos that everything that came out of that man's mouth was bullshit. Everything was a lie. There's nothing that he said yesterday that can be taken as truthful or factual. People have lost confidence in this system. And right now I'm trying to separate the politics from the economics, so that I don't polarize even you guys who are watching this. Because I can see right now I've got MDC supporters, I have ZANU-PF supporters, I have Build Zimbabwe supporters. Right? I'm trying my best to make sure that I don't politicize this issue and say it's an ED problem, it's a ZANU problem, whatever. But I have to be factual. The problems we have right now are political and hence affecting the economy. And the economy right now is saying, okay, that we do not trust the people in charge of the Reserve Bank. We do not trust the people who are in charge of the Reserve Bank. Okay? We do not trust the people who are in charge of the Reserve Bank. I'm really sorry about the volume if you can't hear. I'm trying my best. It's actually a pretty good phone. I don't know why the hell it's being so terrible. But anyway, we don't trust. So, by them splitting the accounts, they want you to start letting your relatives send money into your bank accounts, silo it off. It's going to be all good. But let me explain to you, ladies and gentlemen, how this works. See, I read this story, and this is it's the best way to explain this situation to a layman. Once upon a time, a farmer woke up and decided to start buying monkeys from the local population. So he said to the population, go get me monkeys. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. People call me when I'm on live. A farmer said he wanted to buy monkeys. So what the farmer did is he went out to the local population and said, I will buy monkeys from you for $20. And the people ran out and they got monkeys and they brought them to the farmer, and the farmer gave these people $20 each for these monkeys. Okay? Now I want you to stick with me. Stick with me here. The farmer waited until the monkeys were no longer in supply, and then he upped the price of the monkeys and said, guys, I will now pay you $50 for these monkeys. So what happens is that the people ran around further afield to get more monkeys, and they brought them to the farmer, and the farmer came and gave them $50 for the monkeys. Until the monkeys were all finished in the broader regions, the farmer then said, guys, I will now give you $100 for a monkey. Now, the monkeys are much harder to find, okay? The farmer then leaves, and whilst he's left, one of his workers goes to the population and says, guys, the farmer's gone. If you come to the farm now, I will sell you back these monkeys at $80. You buy the monkeys, and then when the farmer comes back, you come back and you sell them back to us, and we'll give you $100, so you make a profit. So people ran around to get money, came to the farmer to buy these monkeys back for $80 that they sold for $20, and waited for the farmer to come back so they could now sell the monkeys back to the farmer. But by this time now, they bought the monkeys, and the farmer and his workers never were seen again. This is exactly the same analogy that's happening with the Zimbabwean bond note situation. We will keep giving them our forex, and they'll keep giving us chalk change for these monkeys, and the rate will keep running. And now we're the people left with these huge amounts of RTGS money which can't do jack shit. It's a real problem. It's a real problem. It's a real problem. They'll never change. And I'm hoping that the people who are saying that the people's president, Nelson Chamisa, the people who are saying that they won the elections with 2.6 million people, I want to see what they do now when the second biggest robbery is about to happen. I want to see what they do now. Because when we said Munwesem Road as social movements, they told us to fuck off. So I really want them to show some leadership now. I'm encouraging them to show some leadership and stop the second biggest robbery of the population that's ever happened. Because this is happening for the second time. We really, really need strong leadership in this day and age. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, because if we don't do anything about this, we're going to wake up, and for the second time, not only have they robbed our grandparents, our parents, they're going to have robbed us for the second time. And that's our fault. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Okay. Who wants to join the conversation? Please, I'd like to add a couple of people, if you don't mind, so we can talk this out. Anyone want to join the conversation? Okay, so it looks like my phone is not allowing anybody to join. But anyway, cool. So I just thought I'd let you guys give you a quick update on what's happening on the ground in Zimbabwe. We've lost confidence in the system. We've lost confidence in the money. We've lost confidence in the people in charge. And we really don't trust them anymore. And I think we now need some leadership. We now need to show the way and say, look, as a generation, we don't want to be robbed again. And I hate being on lives. I hate complaining. I hate being a person who's always got negative things to say. I hate it. Which is why when I don't have anything to say, I don't come and say anything. But when you see me coming on live, guys, it's really important that we know that it's really important. When I speak, it has to be important from now on. I can't just come here and talk shit. We have to be succinct. We have to be clear. And what is our plan as a generation? Are we allowing ourselves to be robbed for the second time? Because we do not trust these people. Now, if they want us to gain some trust in the situation, fire John Mangudya today. Fire John Mangudya, the whole board of the RBZ. If you fire them and then put in a new breed of people, put in Kosana Moyo and the RBZ, and put in a couple of young people in the RBZ, some Nayu Chanakiras, Put those guys in and give us some confidence that you want to change the system. But until you've done that, you've just given us the same bloody liar, that told us that we would never see bond notes. Someone asked me, so do you trust the MDC guys? I don't have to trust them. I do know that there are a lot of good comrades within those ranks who are representatives of the people. They were voted in by the people. A lot of them have strong mandates. Joanna Mamombe, Charlton Wende, these people have strong mandates to lead their people. You know, we tried to get a mandate in Mount Pleasant, we didn't get it. But Honorable Sam Banda did get that mandate. So these people are ordained leaders through the ballot box. We need to trust that they are the leaders that we voted for, or that were given the mandate by the people to actually step up, right? Because we are not elected. It's hard for us to keep saying stuff like this because we're not elected leaders. We need to see our elected leaders step up. That's what we need right now. Now you're trying to get as a failed banker. Well, is he a bigger failed banker than Mangudya? I don't know. Todd, do you remember the flack we got for the opposing bond notes? Todd, we were called lunatics. We were called idiots. People ridiculed us. People like Jonathan Moyo and Edmund Kudzai, who are now communications by proxy for the alliance, laughed at us as we got beaten and tortured and put in jail for opposing the bond notes. And look where we are today. 2 years later. Exactly what happens. Now we're trying to buy back monkeys, trying to sell monkeys that are worthless. They're worthless, guys. It's nonsense. Yeah. Yeah, we need strong opposition. Okay, anyone else? Because I would love to add people to this, but I promise you it will go wrong. Let me try and add someone. Who wants me to add them, please? If you just request, I can add you. Who can be added? Todd Mfodimbo, please unblock Patience Lovo. She said she's sorry. She says probably you can't see this, but she says please unblock me. Okay, guys, thank you very much. It's been a good day. No one seems to want to contribute. Oh, my brother Carl. Let me add him. Brother, how are you?
What up?
Talk to me, man. What you have to say? Todd, please unblock.
So I just want to understand. Sorry, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
I just want to understand, what is the role of Parliament? Where does it come? Does it come before monetary policy or after? Because surely this has to be debated in Parliament before it can be ratified or passed or whatever it is. It has to be interrogated.
Yes, so Parliament should have discussed this issue beforehand, because they need to pass a law to ratify this RTGS money that now exists in ethereal land. But there's no legal framework for this money. It's bogus. It's magic money. It's voodoo money. The problem with voodoo money is it can't buy anything in the real world. So what we do is we're passing a hot potato of voodoo cash without parliamentary backing. And they're saying it's backed by these treasury bonds, but these treasury bonds are worthless. So there is no parliamentary oversight currently to Mangudya. He's a law unto himself. Him and the president are a law unto themselves.
Okay, so there's just one thing that maybe we're not paying attention to, is the market dynamic. I think we are assuming that we are in the age of Gono, where you could just pass things and people are just going to act the same way. I don't think it's as you say it's going to be. I don't think people, businesses, or anyone is going to show any confidence in something that doesn't deserve any confidence. What I mean by this is that it's not going to be. I think the whole element of being hopeful. Let's just look at the fact that the government has failed to get anything passed from that $100 trillion note. So even the bond notes in themselves created this quasi-economy, which the Reserve Bank governor and a lot of officials in the Reserve Bank actually acknowledge that there's 3 levels of currency that are operating in the economy at the moment, which goes to show that the market is basically just rejecting it. It's not a
Yes.
it's not a case. It's not a case. I think also Zimbabweans need to also be aware of the power that they have as a consumer. Like, so for example, I have now refused to acknowledge that I need to pay 100% to get US dollars for anything, and I've refused to sell a product. Do you get what I'm saying? I think it's not as easy. It's not as easy as the Reserve Bank is alluding to. They might be a little bit naive in thinking that right now the biggest mistake that they've made is that they are saying that there's FCAs that are going to exist. But how do you convince me to put money into a foreign currency account? Why would I do that?
You can't. You can't.
Yeah,
They can't convince me.
So at the end of the day, yeah. So at the end of the day, why would I even bother? Like right now, about the economy, with regards to how they work with their families in the diaspora, how money actually moves, cryptocurrencies, PayPal. I think people are actually operating on a level where the networks, you see, it's very different now to the time because social media is not at play right now. We're able to decipher between fake news and what's real. But I believe right now, I prefer to say a watch and see. We haven't been in that place in a long time as Zimbabweans.
No, the problem is that you have to read the full fiscal and monetary policy by the minister and by the governor. And the problem is the things they're putting in place. For example, they have the power to legislate and make things laws. Even if we don't like it. For example, if Todd sends me money, US dollars by Western Union, they now have the power to funnel that money and say it now has to go into a bank account. Now, and this is some of the hidden language within the statement I was reading, because I had to do a video for one of the papers, and I had to read through the entire thing. And the hidden messages amongst all these things is that they are now finding, for example, your customers now at Zambezi House coming from Europe now have to, by law, pay you in US dollars, okay? Because they're foreigners. Now, now the thing is, when we're in this space, right? What they are doing for me is fueling a parallel market, because here's what I know happens. If you force people to use US dollars in your market, let's say Zambezi House, the person who controls that US dollars is the person, first receiver, is the waiters, and the people who touch the man, correct?
Yeah.
Now, what will make the waiters, in your absence, not take that money and then replace it with bond notes of less value? Because there's nothing that stops them, because by creating parallel structures, what you're calling is you're creating parallel systems. And the only reason, if you give us a bank rate, a cash rate, and a cash RTGS rate, what you're doing is you're giving us 2008 all over again. And that's when ZANU-PF made its most money. This is a slight, clever way of taking more cash out the system.
But Kuda, yes, where, so let me just explain where the big problem is here. Because right now the government is having to grapple with a number of things, right? They're having to grapple with the fact here, Kutisho, like right now, soldiers were sent on the streets, and now there's a commission that had to be painted right now. Zimbabwe cannot afford to have another travel advisory scenario on its hands. Did you understand what I'm saying? Yes, the statement has been put out, but I'm talking about the execution in itself. The execution in itself puts them in a quandary at the moment, because the clients who are coming internationally right now, and the trend is that unless they've actually booked through agents internationally, when they come to Zimbabwe, they've been advised to use their cards. So now if you're asking them to actually use cash at certain establishments, you're already putting the tour operators and whatever it is in a different scenario altogether. Now, wanting to engage with the industry, Zimbabwe is no longer in that position where we can just willy-nilly just say whatever it is that we want, because we're subject again now to the international community and the things that we're wanting to do. So again, talking about being hopeful, let's not forget, Kutizo, the elections had to play out in courts, they had to play out on television. There's a lot of things that had to happen in this particular election that we never saw coming. We thought the elections were going to be a foregone conclusion, like it was going to be disputed, then everything is going to be brushed under the rug, whatever it is. But it had to play out internationally, they had to play out on television. There's a lot of pressure right now on this government. So the issue that's there is that the Reserve Bank governor is definitely under pressure at the moment. Zimra board has already been dissolved, right? There's no telling what the next set of signs is going to be. This could have been an opportunity to show what your solution is, and if the public rejects it, we all know that there's a different vibe that's going on, guys. It's not just.
But the thing is, I'm sort of concerned, my brother. I'm really concerned that people like you as tour operators out in Vic Falls, which is our biggest tour destinations for tourists, but we're not consulted about the logic of this fucking statement. You have they didn't consult anybody. They make these top down rules, guy. And I think I find these top-down rules quite annoying because they don't think about the implications for people like you who are tour operators. They don't think about people, for example, these truckers who now have to pay in Forex and so forth, right? How do you police that? How do you stop me from buying an RTGS and then taking drums to my house and then selling it to truckers in local currency? See, what by setting up parallel structures, you're setting up parallel corruption. That's what I'm trying to explain. The way Zimbabweans behave is that we don't reject problems like this. We capitalize. That's why we have money change on the street.
I'm saying, Kuda, I believe it's going to be very different. We're now in an age of accountability. So, for example, there's certain departments that are given the leeway. Policies, but it's not to say that they can be implemented. I think right now, let's just go back and see the trend of how things are happening in Zimbabwe. Someone might say something, but then they'll turn around within 48 hours of a rejection. It's the same way that 100 trillion note. So it's the same way that the customers, whether it's going to be tour operators, because we sat in a tourism convention, we had RBZ officials there, right? And I think RBZ we're talking about the fact that as Zimbabwe, we need to live within our means, and we need to. I think there were a number of things that they were talking about, the fundamentals, and they were saying Zimbabweans right now are looking at things like the rates going up and stuff like that as being a symptom, but we needed to fix the fundamentals. But it then becomes very surprising that this whole building of economists at a high level would then come up with measures on this level. However, what I think I'm hopeful about as a Zimbabwean is that right now these debates, these discussions are very, very important, because this kind of dialogue is what causes a lot of the retractions and the pullbacks and the turnarounds in terms of policy. I do not believe that Mangudya is a blank check and can come out and just say what he wants, because I don't think this is the Zimbabwe that he thinks he's running as an economy. So you can put out these measures, but I believe there's going to be a lot of pushback. There's going to be a lot of pushback, and I do see a resignation.
I hope so, my brother.
But I do see a resignation. I see a resignation because I see a lot of, even from the tone of it, it sounds very compromised and very unsure. It's not a very clear direction of where it is that we're going. It's not very clear. It's just last kicks of a dying horse, I would say. And I think a lot of this discourse and discussion that's being had does actually matter in making sure that the Zimbabwe that we actually need actually comes about. No one can just come out and just say what they want anymore, Kuda. I know you're talking about the second robbery, but I think it's the third robbery. But anyway, that's another issue. The point, Iripanapa, is that we have to look at the fact here, Kuti, the Zimbabweans have been given a lot more power than they perceive they have. And I think it's very important, outside of emotion, for us to discuss the economics of solutions rather than just pointing out Kuti, Jatara na Mangudya. I'm ready to hear a solution. Did you understand what I'm saying? I'm really ready to hear a solution.
Okay, so I have a solution. The thing is, just so that I let you sort of into some. If you watch Mthulisi Ncube before he was made Minister of Finance, right? He told us the solution. He was like, we need to demonetize and remove the bond notes. We need to join the Rand Union, and then we need to allow ourselves to develop as an economy, and not have actual control over our own fiscus for a little bit, right? That's what he said before he became minister. I want to know what has changed. Now that he is now Minister of Finance, why has he retracted and gone backwards in time and actually now said that he's now willing to accommodate these bond notes? Why is a man that smart trying to accommodate parallel structures?
No,
I'm very confused.
In my opinion, let me tell you what I think. In my opinion, right? In my opinion, I think per sector, we need to own our own reserves. So, for example, the tourism sector the Reserve Bank must outsource a reserve per sector. Like, for example, the tourism sector is bringing in its foreign currency. It must have its own bank. It must guarantee the players their money back when they put out their money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mining, the same thing. Agriculture, the same thing, right? The Reserve Bank needs to, because the problem is, mama, you are married by relatives. They would give you money and then mama would take the money. And mama voatenga scarf, whatever it is, because she thinks she's doing it for the better good of the child. And mwana uda mari yake, he can't get his money out. So Tanaya can't get the money out when Kuda Musasiwa gives her $20 for passing her exam. Urgunzu, my point. And this is, you cannot have the same person who's running the economy from a financial perspective being the same person who actually keeps the money. I mean, that's why the Federal Reserve in America is separate from the government. It has to be a separate arm of government. But the issue at the end of the day is that is common sense good for politics? I don't think so. So I'm saying, Kuti, all of these economists, and you speak to a lot of the economists for Ripoku Reserve Bank, and I know people are just getting very, I don't know, emotional right now. Carl is actually like defending whatever it is. I'm not defending jack shit.
No, don't worry about those people. Don't worry about those people. They exist.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is that even you sitting at home, even your son even said it. First Street, she need 200 million. We know that 200 million that's backing the bond note is no longer 200 million. How much have they printed so far? So the thing that we have to look at is what makes a person like our finance minister say a solution 1 minute, there's 2001 problems I report in running a restaurant, and all of my staff will say, "Sir, why aren't you putting a billboard?" And I'm like, "No, I can't pay a salary." Urunza, my point. I'm very happy to hear a suggestion. But so far, what we're very good at as Zimbabweans is literally just debating what's there, but not being think tanks.
No, the thing is, I think, you know, in defense of everybody, right? The thing is, people understand things at different levels. And the thing is, what I've discovered is that sometimes these platforms give us an opportunity to conversate. Now, when people, for example, label you, the Akal is defending this, and then you label people to be dumb or complainers, it's like we're not finding bridges of connections between us as a generation. What I'm trying to do is bring people together. First of all, let's understand the problem. The problem is very simple. You cannot create parallel structures. Number two, the situation we have right now with these bond notes is there's no fundamentally legal framework for them to actually exist. Like, you can't take this to the International Court of Law because these bond notes are a fallacy. They're from the imagination of Mangudya. The third thing is, want to understand why is Mtilisi Ncube a very smart man who had great solutions for us before the election, and then he was made what's he called? He was made the minister. Why did he change his mind? What happened? We have video of him saying certain things. Then the fourth thing is that, can we believe what Mangudya says to us? We have sat with him in the Reserve Bank. People like me, people like Pastor E and Zaimahed, we went and met him. And literally, he told us blatant, faced lies, Carl. He lied. He's a fucking useless liar. Right? So, we have those four major problems. So, when we know the problems, I read you the other day, you spoke about siloing banks for different industries, and I agree 100%. Because if we are saying that we're not eating what we kill, if a civil servant wants to earn, US dollars, they must export enough to earn US dollars. If the tourism industry is bringing in US dollars, they must be able to benefit from the development and the money that comes in. Because right now, as Zimbabweans, you're right. There is a lot of expecting to earn US dollars. You can't expect, it doesn't make sense. But the problems are being brought forward, my brother, because of these paralyzed systems. Either we are going for the US dollar and we agree with Artisisina and not try and print papers of leaves and tissue paper and say this is worth KHG. So that's why I'm a bit annoyed with them, because I can never put up my prices as a creative, as a marketing consultant. I can never put up my prices. but everything around me has gone up 3 times. And this is the problem I have. I said, you must be saying the same things.
Yeah. So I'm agreeing. So I'm agreeing with you. That's what I'm saying. I love your platform. I love your platform, and I wish there's more. But I just wanted to encourage you, Kuti, don't resign to the fact that they're going to get away with it. I don't think that's that easy.
Yeah.
If you notice, Kuti, Mpofu even said, I've never seen a diamond before. We all know how that story ended. Urunzi, my point.
Yeah.
Right now, the checks and balances they are much greater. Things cannot be left to lie. Like, for example, even Ncube Wachoka, we all know that he retracted his statement, and now we must interrogate why. Urunzi, he's not now a finance minister who can just walk around with a briefcase and just give us like a monetary policy without explaining why he changed his mind. The international community is also asking a lot of questions. We as the tourism industry were also asking a lot of questions, right? We interrogated the issue and said, Kutijo, like right now, how do you expect an airline to come into the country with parallel structures like that? When, for example, Munu ano swiper into your account, does it go into your FCA account? Do you understand what I'm saying? Does the money go into your
I understand.
It's mad. Locally? And how is that money going to be remitted back to the airline? And now the airlines are already saying, Kuti, there's a lot of money that's outstanding that hasn't been paid back, and Reserve Bank has to address this particular issue. So it's not as simple as people are thinking, Kuti Mangudya, ataura zvakati zvichaitika. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we're not in that.
I understand. I get you. Yeah. But basically what you're saying is that we don't have to stand for it. As a market, as a population, we don't have to stand for it.
Not even. We must interrogate everything. And this is the thing that I was getting flack a lot about during the elections. Why am I calling out even the MDC on his policies? Because you can't tell a person without actually telling me how you want to do it. It must be measured. Yeah. And people must not even think just because ZANU-PF has won, therefore its supporters as well must not also interrogate. Because we have to perfect our country, we have to fix it. It's not going to be fixed by 30 men in suits. That's not how it's going to happen. There'll be same problems with ZBC and stuff like that. Are these the right people? When you're out color, you come back to my senses. I already have my senses. I don't understand why people don't understand using your brain. Using your brain is an important part of life. You must interrogate everything. You don't just blindly follow. The same way
I agree with you, my brother.
Yeah, Mangudya must not be let. Just because Bunaneka voted are in power, they must be let to just do whatever it is that they want. No. They work for us. Sagaisusu, we must ask those questions. It's important as a generation to not be sidetracked by saying pick a side rakati ne side rakati. Because I think that's where we actually get it wrong. And so right now, when Mangudya is actually monetary policy, but they didn't even read it.
Yeah.
They didn't even read it, and they didn't even research. The issue is someone wrote something on WhatsApp, and then they're like, oh, okay, foreign truck drivers must come. Guys, it's not that simple. There are many routes other than going through Zimbabwe. And if you calculate the base cost of a truck driver coming into the country, they would rather circumvent Zimbabwe and drive along a route than have to pay in foreign currency in Zimbabwe. They would rather do that. Yeah. Especially for a country where apana kana fuel yacho in the first place. Guys, it's not that simple. It's not even as simple as what they are saying.
I agree. My brother, thank you so much, man. Solutions. God bless you, man.
Iribo. Thanks. Good luck on the baby.
Thank you, man. It's any day, man. Any day.
Iribo.
Any day, baby. Any day.
Cool.
Yeah. I had a couple of people. Outrage. Hey, Marcie, how are you?
Hi, Kuda. Thanks for bringing me in. A lot of guys are just crying. The government is wrong. They've fucked us up. Of course, for me, sorry for the word. For me, I'm actually thinking these FCA accounts that are new. What does it mean to our local accounts that are full of burnt money? Tangachingo Binat Shiza Marim account. Now, FCA account, what does it mean about those accounts? Does it mean kutishoni? Vacha ita wipe out futi kesha vakambo ita 2007, 2008 pipe. Tosa ratisisi na marima account. Then you need foreign currency. you need it from an FCA account. So your money goes to naught. But then the truth is, we have an opposition. We have a parliament. We have people out there who say they are technocrats. And what are the solutions that we can fight for? Yes, we can say we want to go in the street and what, but we can't just be fighting to refuse. We need to fight with solutions. Could it take this offer that we're giving you? Because honestly, this whole thing of just complaining, and I'm not saying they're correct and Mangudya and everything. No, they are very wrong, and we feel pained. Everybody's going to get hurt with this. But Sakatodi, I'm not an economist, and but what I know is I think they are trying. I think they try to do something.
Okay. So the thing,
but
my sister, the thing is that the reason why I can say you pretty confidently that they are not trying is because they are implementing identical policies to Gideon Gono, and they have been proved not to work. They haven't worked in Venezuela. They haven't worked in Yugoslavia. They don't work. Now, the only thing Mangudya is doing, when he started this guy, he was only printing electronic money. I but teacher my RTGS. In other words, putting a figure in a computer and then paying people. And these people used to go to ATMs and then withdraw this money. Then they use that money to buy other money. It's a big problem. Now, he then added, on top of his ability to send money by electronically, he now added the ability to print more money. Now, the only reason why him and Gono are different is that he printed $2 and $5 notes only. Those $2 and $5 notes, if he had printed more money, he would have spent more money. But the thing is, he only managed to print $2 and $5 notes. But he's print loads of them. He's print millions. He's print millions and millions and millions of $2 and $5 notes. So everywhere you go right now, these money changer guys have brand new notes in bags, brand new, with sequential serial numbers written 2006. What?
Okay, yes, Kuda. I think something's wrong with the network.
Oh, sorry,
okay.
People phone me.
Can I say something?
To know that. Go ahead, Basi.
Okay, so there's Mtulisi Ncube who we believed in, and we clapped hands because he's come on board and he's going to implement these big ideas. And you're asking what changed. What changed is that he went into the real world. He realized because I am sure he came in with a book full of all those things he was talking about. And he said, I'm going to do this. It's not as easy. The country is not producing. You're not even making money. If anything, you're just a spending economy. Saka, yes. What he did is just the nearest quick fix thing that he could find to do. Can we blame him for that? Can we call him stupid? No. But you know what? I think when any of us, including opposition or the technocrat or people who are so smart, I think when they get into the cooking pot, they will actually feel the heat. And right now, guys, I think, yes, we can protest, but I am looking for a solution from whoever to fight for. Because this.
Do you think Mangudya?
But I want a solution
Mangudya is the right person.
No,
I'll forgive Mtulisi Ncube.
No, I'm for that. And this he's off. But you know what? Yeah. I want something to fight for. I want some economists from wherever to just say, this is what I'm proposing, guys. Can you fight for this to go through? The government right now has no choice but to listen to us. But they need a solution. Zimbabwe is tough. It's hard. Things are hard for everyone, even the government. As corrupt as they are, but trust me, they also want to succeed because they want to keep in power. Saka, you know what? Let's get those technocrats to bring something. Let's create a think tank as citizens, offer solutions. Then we fight for those solutions because we cannot fight to say no. Saka, so you know what? Some of us, yes, we want to participate in the economy with our foreign currency and everything. But Kanajada is so old. It's like when you look from outside, you actually realize guys, it's not easy, not even for Mtulisi Wacho. It's not easy. Thanks, Kuda. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sis. So, you know. David Navuga.
Yeah, good. Sorry, I can't hear you properly, but anyway, I'll try my best. Thank you very much for your program. I very much appreciate it. And it's very emotional. I'll try not to be emotional, especially when it comes to this issue. You have said quite a lot of sense. And I'm not an economist. I'm not an accountant. I don't understand financial terminology, but you've put things into simplicity that I started to understand even very basic. I'm an engineer by profession, and I don't understand the finance. But from what you've said, I understand Kutuzoni. My RTGS, we are back again to 2008, where we had my millionaires. You go my paper masmare.
My bear I check. My barrier check.
We are like in the barrier. We are in that era again where we've got my barrier check. They mean nothing. I personally would think maybe a million. In reality, a million bond notes in reality is not as worth as Mbudzi Yangu Yandina Kumusha. In reality, Mbudzi Yangu Kumusha maybe it's actually worth more. No wonder why the guys who are in gold, gold in minerals, tantalite, makorokosa, gold. When they go to they can get actually a hard US dollars by kind of RBZ. It's purely because they know the value of the gold. There is true value in gold rather than in anything else, and that's why they actually get my US dollars. Anything else is not worth as compared to the US dollar. Now, I personally think it's a generational issue. We have got a problem that we have at hand that has been created by, obviously, I would say the current government, if I would say, or probably the previous government, if you want to say, I think it's exactly the very same thing. And the problem
it's the same.
It's the same, Alicia. Thank you. I think now what we have, I would say in I think we are of the same age. And the problem we have is we are trusting, we are putting our future in the hands of people that cannot be trusted. This government have proved again and again that it cannot be trusted. The only thing we can do is to bend down and let them have a party with us. The other option we have is to stand up and fight for our future, because these guys, they don't give it. They don't care. Their children's future is already secured in other countries, and our children's future is not even secured whatsoever. So the question is, how do we fix the problem we have? It's not only the problem of RTGS. There's lots of things at the background that we are not taking into consideration. It's going to take us years and years to get this thing. To get this situation rectified. And I personally think the only thing we can do as Zimbabweans is to stand up and start fighting for our rights, stand up and fighting for our future. It's either by going back Murodi, if it makes sense, if going to Murodi again, I'm not saying on Endemunurwa, probably peaceful demonstration.
But patakati vanhu vese murodhi hamuna kuuya vanhu makati siyatitega tikasunga tikamamiswa rafu.
Kuda, don't be like that. Kuda, come on, Kuda, don't be like that, my brother. Look, there's lots of people that I know who came. I personally Nandri Murodi newe. Even though that's all made up aside now, but Nandri Murodi newe. Can I next time? I'm up for one Murodi. Purely because at the present moment, I can say that the youth of today, we don't have a backbone to fight this evil generation we have. They are clueless, one, and secondly, they're as evil as it gets. And now, you see, purely because we are threatened by the military, we are threatened by the police, and we are cowards. Like me and you, and I wouldn't say you are a coward, but however, our generation at the moment, we are absolutely cowards. We are not able to. But my old veterans, think about it. My old veterans, they stood against the evil of that time, and they managed to fight it. And why are we not doing exactly the same? So, my veterans, my soldier, and all that. All this problem we have, Korela, Yasara Pasi, we are not talking about Korela anymore. Our focus has been shifted to RTGS, Nenyayema, US dollars. Just a few months ago, we were talking about Gukura Hundi. We were talking about the 1st of August. We were talking about lots of things that happened. So each and every month that's passing by, we've got issues coming over, and we totally forgot about because something else new is coming again. So the only thing we can do is we've got loads of things we need to catch up. Let's stand up as Zimbabwean youth, fight for our rights, and fight this government. That's what we can do.
My brother, thank you very much for your call, man. Hit me up with the inbox. Let's stay connected, right?
Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you very much, brother.
God bless, man.
All right.
Booker, he has some good points. Thank you very much for joining. We've been doing a lot of graft in the situation. We've been doing a bunch of stuff with the guys from Heathcliff, the people who the squatters from Heathcliff. We've been doing a bunch of stuff in Epworth. We've been doing a bunch of stuff with sanitary pads as well. So you don't see me a lot on live these days because I'm trying to avoid making poverty porn. But I assure you that a lot of people who contributed money, that through the different agencies, through the cholera packs that were being done by Pastor E, through the water bowsers that were being sent. There's a lot of things that have been that have been happening in the background. My brother Todd, I'm trying to add you. I don't see your icon. Can you request that I add you, Todd? If you request. So a lot of things. I mean, it's something that my father said to me, that if you do something for somebody, that's what you call charity. If you do something for somebody and then tell everybody that you did it, that's now doing stuff for your own ego. So I assure you, it's not that we don't want to be going live all the time, but sometimes it's not good to always be povertizing porn and making people see how terrible things are. Sometimes it's also good to bring some hope in the situation. You know, we all have children. We all have we all have hopes and dreams for our nation. We all want to engage, even with this current government that a lot of people say is illegitimate. We have an option to just either fight them or engage when we can. And the reason why we're having this conversation about money is because we feel that it's not fair that the generation, our fathers, our mothers, our grandfathers, our uncles, our aunts, our generation, we've lost money so many times through mismanagement and bad policy. And I think it's up to us to continue to keep screaming and advocating for better governance and better policies by these government officials. People like John Iscariot Mangudya need to fix up. We're very, very tired of them messing around. They're very, very tired of messing around with our lives. So I'm very grateful for everybody joining me on this conversation. Please keep an eye out for what we would. We are hoping that we really go hard and engage the Minister of. This time we really, really, really want them to slip through the cracks. Sister Marcie, how are you?
Ndephi Kuda.
And Yayaphila,
Nah, good. Mine is a question, because
yes.
like previous callers, I have no clue when it comes to economy. I can't even add. I failed maths first time. I had to resit it, so I'm not going to pretend that I understand. But what I understand are simple problem-solving things. So my first question to you is, what is our real state of the economy? What is real? Chokwadi deripi. What is the real state of our economy? Because I feel like we are plowing in solutions for phantom economies. So we have the real state of the economy that is not being discussed. Then we have this phantom economy that people are scrambling around finding solutions to a phantom economy. So we know we have these great investors. We have not discussed, Kuti, what is it that we have promised to secure their capital by? So hence this scramble for securing the forex that will protect these investors. We know we have a lot of them. How much of them have we got? How much do we owe anybody? What did we promise them? What is the state of our affairs? Before we can even say we are fixing what are we fixing? Let's be told the truth. If we are in a bad state of affairs, can we just be told the truth, Kuti? This is where we are at, and these are the real problems. There's nothing we can do about it. That would be the state of our economy. And then we can bury ourselves in either understanding why the government is doing what it's doing, or we can invest in actually saying, how can we fix this real thing? But I think we are fixing something that is phantom. Hapana munu that knows the real state of the Zimbabwean economy.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, Marcie, because I think these are important questions you've asked, and I also realize that I don't have the answers. But I do know a guy, my brother Vincent Musewe. He's an economist in Zim. He ended up working with people like Monica Mtrangwa and stuff. So he actually he was very strong opposition. Now he's now engaged and he's working with the government. I'm going to ask him if I can do a live with him tomorrow, and I'm going to ask him these questions exactly how you've asked, because I also want to know, is there an economy to speak of?
Yes.
Are we all delusionally speaking of nothing?
Yes.
Personally speaking, I know that I'm working very hard and I'm getting paid in fake RTGS money, but I don't know where that money is coming from, even if it's valuable. I mean, maybe it's time that we all stop playing with computers and actually go into the Munda and farm, so that we actually produce something that has got actual value. Or maybe we should all start mining. You know, maybe we need more. Maybe we need a proper hard conversation with ourselves.
Yes.
You know, maybe we shouldn't be models and superstars. Maybe we should try and be farmers and miners and workers. Because
yes.
you know, maybe we need to make more shoes, God damn it, or raise more cattle. Because I think what worries me is that maybe we are looking for the European Joburg lifestyle and yet producing fuck all to justify that money. That we want.
And the reason I asked,
do we deserve the US dollar? Do we deserve it, guys?
No, the reason I asked is I've been trying to ask anybody who knows anything about anything. And I've never seen anywhere in the world where a country comes from the pits of hell and it promises people a bounty. Every time a country has come from the bottom, it tells its people that austerity measures must be had. Yet Zimbabwe is plowing forward with this idea of plenty that is coming. Maybe we need a government that tells us the truth, that we need to tighten belts, we need to go into a building mode where we all must understand that for a little while, we might have to go without certain things for us to fix the truth of our economy. But I feel like Zimbabweans have come from the pits of hell, and all of a sudden, from nothingness, they want a bounty. We haven't built anything for us to be deserving of money. What have we done? So maybe we need the government to engage us and say, listen, we have zero. On top of zero, we are on minus because we owe people. And these people want their stuff. And we have to pay them because we are getting into deep trouble. So as a country, even in the UK, people had Russian books. In Zimbabwe, I remember ages ago, Tatinama Russian books, where all of us had to invest in knowing how much we can use from our reserves, how much a person should be able, expenditure. We need to get back to that point where we are told as a nation what we must cut down, what our expectations should be, and what we are working to build. I think we are living in a phantom world. We are in a worse state than what we think we are in. Hence, we cannot fix the problems. You can't fix a phantom problem with real solutions. You are only fixing the phantom. The real problem remains unfixed. So let's get to the truth. What is our state of the economy? What is wrong?
What you've said is very profound. Very, very, very profound what you've said. Do we need CB mayonnaise? Do we need to wipe our asses with imported tissue paper? Do we need to buy imported deodorants? Or should we start saying, guys, let's just stop the imports for now? Because do you know we're spending $30 million on DSTV? $30 million a month on DSTV. Do we need to pay DSTV? Can we say, look, let's watch some pirated internet downloads for now, whilst we fix the economy and save that 30 million. We need real figures. So Marcie, you've challenged me, and I think you've challenged everyone who's listening, that guys, we are using hard currency to sell tomatoes. What are we producing to deserve that hard currency? And I think as the Tea Party, here's our mission. We need to get to the bottom of this. What is this economy worth? What pain do we have to go through? Because I am willing to go through the pain myself so that I'm not delusional. What pain do I have to go through and for how long? Even if they say it's a 10-year pain process, I'm willing to go through it, right? And if it means that I don't have to get my nice MacBook Pros and stuff for now, that's fine. what pain do I have to go through, and what's the plan for when that pain is over for us to say that we have now built this middle income economy that they've been promising us?
Yes.
So you have challenged me, and I'm challenging everybody else also, that can we look at the way that we are moving? Can we look at, Marcie has just said some really profound stuff like, are we just crying because we like things? Because if we just like things, then we should stop crying, guys.
No, yeah.
We need to export. We need to produce. We need to produce stuff that's exportable. How many people are making stuff that they can send overseas to sell and bring in Forex? So maybe these are some of the conversations we need to have by ourselves as people. And because we're fair here, we try and be fair. Are we trying to get Mangudya and Ncube to fix a problem that's unfixable? That's another question we need to ask. So I promise you I'll try and get someone like Vince or an economist tomorrow, and we'll go on live and see what are the solutions we can come up with. Because tonight BT always used to say these words: let's eat what we kill. We cannot just eat. We must eat what we kill.
Yes.
And
yes.
So
let's
thank you
be
so much for
realistic,
challenging me.
and let's go and
Thank you
find
very
the
much for
truth
challenging
and
me.
accept the truth. All right.
Marcie for
later.
president. Thank you very much. I'll close off the conversation on this. Thank you very much for Marcie. Of economics, so we can talk this through and see, are we just Zimbabwe, and how can we fix these problems, starting with us, and then maybe insisting on our government for better leadership. Thank you very much for joining me. This is the Tea Party. Thank you very much. We're engaging. We're trying to come up with solutions these days. God bless you. Bye.